Hi everyone, welcome to another edition of the Smart Lounge. Today I'm very happy to have Ricard Escoda. He is the third generation owner of the amazing brushes, Escoda brushes. If you are an artist or a traditional artist, you definitely know about this brand. Escoda was founded in 1933 in Barcelona, Spain, and we have one of the owners with us today to answer our questions about brushes. So I'm going to see if he's on, and he is on, and I'm going to have him on here. Just waiting for him to accept the invite. I hope everyone can hear me. There we go.
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
Fine, how are you?
I'm good. I hope this is okay.
Yeah, everything is okay.
Perfect. How are you doing?
Can you see me well and you can hear me well?
That's perfect.
Okay, that's great.
How is your family doing? How is COVID treating you and your family?
Yeah, fortunately, everybody is doing well.
Very good.
Well, we had some issues in the company at the very beginning. A couple of employees they got the virus, but it was not very bad. So they just they have to stay at home for a few days. That's it. But
Okay.
yeah, it's a lot of different things that you hear that is scary sometimes,
Yeah, that's good that everyone's safe.
Yeah, yeah. How is in India?
It's really bad.
Now it's bad, huh?
It's very bad. I don't know why I'm laughing, but it's a pretty bad situation. It's spreading, and because of the overpopulation and lack of social distancing, people are not taking it seriously either. And it's now spreading to a community that really didn't want this disease to begin with. Like, it was brought by people who traveled abroad and came back, and now it's everywhere. So it's really sad to see what's happening.
It is.
Sorry. So,
Uh,
hi everyone. Just want to welcome you formally. Everyone, this is Ricard Escoda. He's the third generation owner of Escoda brushes, which hails from Barcelona in Spain. One of my favorite cities I've visited. I love Barcelona. And so it's a pleasure to have you here. I'm going to jump right in. Just reading about the history of Escoda, it's fascinating that your grandfather actually started this company in the middle of a civil war in 1933. How did it happen? Like, how did the company come about?
well, the thing is that he did not start the company in the middle of the Civil War. That was just before that.
Just before.
He started the company at the beginning of the 30s in 1933. So the Civil War started in 1936.
Right.
But obviously he had to stop. He stopped the business for a while because the Civil War lasts for 3 years. And then also it took a few more years to just go back. But yeah, that was not easy. That time it was and nothing was easy, and more if you had a war in your country. But yeah, but he did it. He did it. I think it was a very smart man. Yeah.
So did he continue the company once the war got over?
Yeah, he started over again. So then there was at the beginning of the 40s.
Got it.
Yeah, and also thanks to to my grandmother that she helped him as
Yeah.
well. And later it was my father and my uncle. They both also went to the business, but that was later on the 60s, more or less.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. And what did your father bring to the company in terms of growth? Like your father and your uncle, what did they bring to the company to what it is today? Obviously, they are the people who helped bring it with your grandfather, obviously. So, um, were is it something that you guys always wanted to work in the company also? So how did the legacy get passed on between your father and to you then eventually?
Well, yeah, because my father and my uncle, they went to the company because the business was growing at that time. So they also made some. They went to the college to the school. They didn't go to the college at that time. It was not really necessary, but because they wanted to grow the business. Because my father and my grandfather, he saw that it was a good chance because there was a lot of artists. They wanted to buy more and more brushes, and if an artist many years ago, if an artist they wanted to buy an artist brush, a good quality artist brush, they had to go maybe to France or to Germany to find a good one. So he thought it was a good chance to make a good brush. And also then my father and my uncle, they also wanted to help him to make the business grow. And actually it was themselves, my father and my uncle, they decided to go out of Spain and try to sell them in other countries, in Europe, in the US. But that was in the 90s.
Okay.
So, and there was in the 90s that when we also came into the business. Actually, it's four of us today. The third generation is four of us. It's me and my sister and two of my cousins.
Got it.
So we all came into the business on the 90s.
Okay, got it. And then in 2001, you guys got the ISO certificate. So then that is obviously an added stamp of quality, which is an amazing achievement to have. And now almost 20 years with that certification, and to see your company grow has been amazing. And I'm so glad that a company like yours has also come to India, because there are so many great artists in India benefiting from the quality brushes that you guys make. So thank you for that. I briefly touched on this in the beginning. How did the pandemic or the lockdown affect the production that was happening at the Escoda factories?
Well, we had to stop production. Actually, even just before the alarm, well, the country they stopped everything officially because we also had some problems with the supply of some materials coming from Italy and from other countries.
Yes.
But also because we had these two cases of virus in our company. But then we also had to stay closed for 2 months almost, and then we opened again. There was at the end of, well, anyway, it was at the end of April. So we opened again with a few people only, making just a few brushes at the beginning, and step by step we just returned. And now we're making, of course, we are making more brushes, but still we're not working with the full staff.
Okay. Okay.
So we're trying to give, the distance between people, between employees.
Yes.
But yeah, it's not easy. We still need to be very careful.
Yes.
And yeah.
Okay. Walk us through the process of designing a brush. Who comes up with the idea? Have you studied fine art, or do you talk to artists? And after that process, how do you manufacture a brush? What are the components required in making a brush?
I think the most important thing is that we need to talk to artists, because of course we know a lot of our brushes and we know how to make them, but what it really the one that is really know very much about the brush is the artist himself.
Yes.
So we try to listen a lot to the artist, and according to sometimes to their needs, we try to make sometimes some samples and and make some tests. But of course, it's not easy, and it's not something that you can make every month or every year, new brushes. Right. But yeah, you need to listen what the artist needs, and also the market what they need. but always we also need to focus always on the high quality.
Right.
We of course we need to listen to the artist, but also we need to focus on a high quality brush. And so sometimes it cannot happen because of the price, you know.
Got it. So, how important is the wood of the handle, or how important is the bristle of the brush? And can you talk to us about the uniqueness of an Escoda brush? Like, why does somebody need to pay or invest in it? Because obviously it's extremely special. I myself have the wooden box with the versatile brushes, and I keep it under lock and key so no one can touch it. So what is the special quality behind Escoda brushes?
Well, first thing I would say that maybe the artists, they can tell as well, but I would say that we try to make the brushes in the best way, using the best materials, because as you probably know well, as I said, the Escoda brush, it's made in a high quality level. So we can only give and offer high quality materials,
Right.
of course. But also because the people that are making the brushes, they have been making brushes for some of them for more than 30 years. So of course they have a lot of good experience, and they also need a very good skills. And while there's something that generation to generation it passes. And well, it helps, of course, to improve, sometimes even to improve the quality.
Right.
Something that maybe you don't think that it's something to improve, but I think it's always something that you can learn and you can improve it.
Right. We have a really good question in asking what is the difference between a high quality and a low quality brush?
Well, that's a good question, but this is also how the brush will perform to the artist.
Right.
But I would say that this Escoda brush also has two main points that sometimes other brushes do not have. Well, besides that, we said that we use the best materials that is in the market, of course, but also we have two main points. That is, one of them is that we make every brush that we make, it has a triple crimp.
Yes.
Which make it a bit different from maybe other brushes because of this nice design, but also this nice design will also help to make a better bound between the ferrule and the handle.
Yes.
Because the brush is always into the water, is always dipped into the water. So the wood always will try to expand and contract. So it needs to be tight and not to lose ferrules. Although it could happen that sometimes it could lose ferrules, but
Yes.
it's not very usual, and it doesn't happen very often. If it happens, we are behind the product.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's a second point that we also try to explain is that every brush that we make, it goes in a final process. This final process also was my grandfather who invented, and this process will give a permanent shape to each brush that we make. So we can say that the Escoda brush has a memory. So the artists, they can use it, and the brush will keep the shape, will keep the good shape that he had at the beginning.
Yeah.
Always, of course, if you take care of the brush.
Got it.
But that's something also that it was unique in the art business, and my grandfather started that many years ago. We're still using it, and it's something that the artists, they really appreciate and like a lot.
Got it. I'm going to skip ahead and come back to some of the questions because I see Amit Kapoor is here and listening to us. He is obviously the brand ambassador for one of our paint brands, Mijello Mission Gold. And he also, I'm so glad to see that in the roster of your artists that Escoda collaborates with, Escoda has collaborated with Amit Kapoor ji to make their own limited edition Amit Kapoor brushes. So talk to us about how Amit Kapoor is the ideal artist to collaborate with. Why did you see a good collaboration with him?
Well, first, because he's a very well-known artist. I've been I've been around going to some watercolor events for the last 10 years or maybe 12, 15 years. And I've seen him in quite a few now. So he is a well-known around the watercolor artist. So of course you also need to like, of course, his painting, but he's a well-known artist. I think he's a very good teacher. He's always trying to teach to artists. So he gives all his knowledge to other artists, which is something is very, very good for someone that he likes art. And of course, if someone like Amit, he likes the Escoda brush, that's something that we always think that we need to take profit of it.
Yes.
So I think it's a perfect combination with an artist. If he likes the brush and we can offer him a good brush, and then he can promote it. He can promote the brush from his heart.
Absolutely.
Otherwise, sometimes there's some commercial agreements between people, but if they don't believe in this kind of in the product, it doesn't mean anything.
Absolutely agree. I think Amit Kapoorji has shown that not only is he a talented artist, he's a talented teacher as well. And he uses the Escoda brush because he believes in it. And I feel like that reflects in his artwork as well. So it's a great collaboration between Escoda and Amit Kapoor, I think. So that's a really, really good collaboration. And I hope you do collaborate with more artists, Indian artists in the future as well. Tell us, elaborate a little bit about how people should buy a brush or choose a brush. Should I compromise on shape or softness? What is the difference between the two? And as an artist, if I'm a watercolor artist, which brushes should I go for? Or acrylic or mixed media? What are the different categories and what should I look for?
Well, that depends a lot to the artist.
Right.
But we can always recommend a brush, but that will depend on what the artist they need, because there's so many different kinds of brushes,
Right.
in terms of softness or the stiffness, the shapes. But it's something that I cannot give really an exact answer.
Got it. So,
of course, if someone paints watercolor, I'm very sure that he will need a round brush,
right,
and a soft brush. But sometimes people they just paint with the flats, and it depends on the artist, and also with oil and acrylics. I mean, some of them I've seen some of the very good artists painting with no brushes, only with a little card and making all shapes with a little card.
Yes.
So that's not a good customer for Escoda. He can be a very good artist.
Yes,
right?
That's a very good point. If you are, sorry, I'm just skipping ahead a little bit. So keeping in mind the welfare of animals, I'm sure you get this question a lot being a brush manufacturer, and with National Geographic and some of the animal welfare associations becoming more prominent in the world. What are the initiatives Escoda is taking with respect to this in the 21st century? Can synthetic fiber replace animal hair entirely one day?
Well, if talking about if the synthetic hair can be the same as natural hair, I would say probably no.
Okay.
In natural hair, maybe it's natural, and it could be very, very similar. Could be almost the same, but I don't think it will be exactly the same.
Okay.
But that's my thinking, my point of view. Maybe someday there can be a synthetic that is exactly the same as natural. But on the other side, if we think about what will happen in the future with natural hairs, that's a good question, because I would say that someday the natural hairs will be finished or will be over. I mean, not because the species maybe it can be disappeared, can disappear, but also because there will be some regulations on in the market, and maybe we will be forced to change to synthetics.
Got it.
And also because of price. If someone wants to buy a brush which is €1,000, who's going to buy a brush of €1,000?
Yeah.
if you can get a synthetic with only €20. So
Yeah.
I'm just giving maybe it's two different price, but I'm saying to be so people can understand, right?
Yes, yes, absolutely. We have a question from one of our very talented acrylic artists. What quality do you see in one's work to collaborate? Like if somebody wanted to collaborate with Escoda, what are the qualities that Escoda looks for?
It's not easy. I mean, it's something that sometimes we have been in touch with that artist maybe a few times. Maybe we talk to other artists that they can recommend that artist. We need to make sure that the artist is a well-known artist, and also is very active with the social media. So the different kinds of things that
Yeah.
we need to consider.
Got it.
And also we need to find that is something that it can be a good representative artist maybe in one specific country, but also better in different countries.
Yes. And I've noticed that you also respect a lot of people who are loyal to the brand, who only consistently use Escoda and they see the value behind it, just like Amit Kapoor does. So I think that's an important point, Nikhat, also. So to keep that in mind.
Well, and I think, I mean, if they have to use or they have to believe the Escoda. But
right.
Of course, we understand if the artists they use other brands. That's normal.
Yes.
And if Escoda is a brand, but there's many other brands, so they might have, I would say, preference with some brushes, and if they believe Escoda is the best, then we can cooperate. But if they also have other brushes, we understand. That's not a problem.
Okay, great. Give us some tips on how to take care of our brushes. We just did a post today on how we should clean our brushes and use a product that you guys have just recently launched, the soap, the Escoda soap, and your brushes, and then how to store it and keep it. People think that you should keep it straight up, but the water would seep into the ferrule. So maybe you could give us some tips on how to take care of our brushes.
Well, I mean, it's if you just paint watercolor, I would say maybe it's easier to clean the brushes.
Yeah.
And of course, if you can use a good soap, I mean the Escoda soap, we actually have two soaps. One made of olive oil soap, and the other one is a new one, which is a vegetable soap.
Yeah.
In a cream. So both will be good to clean brushes, watercolor, but mainly also with acrylic and oils. But of course, if you need to moisturize the hair, it's like the natural hair that we have, mainly with natural hairs, with the brushes made of natural hairs. You need to moisturize the hair, you need to condition the hair if you want to keep it in good shape. And that's one of the tips that we always give.
So what should we use for that?
What's that?
What should we use for that? Like, do we use oil, baby oil, or
we also can recommend that if you have olive oil, for example, or another kind of oil, you can also use olive oil to reshape the brush.
Got it.
It's always good, again, to moisturize the hair, but also to keep the good shape.
Got it. What is the future of Escoda looking like? Like, what are the future products that y'all want to introduce into the market? Like last year, y'all didn't have soap, but now you have soap. So what are the other products that y'all are going to introduce?
Well, we have some, maybe we have a very few products that we're trying to launch. But again, it won't be, as brushes is not easy, is very slow, is in a slow process to launch a new brush. But yeah, we will have a new brush, a new shape, and also a new mixture of brush. but also we need to focus very much with synthetics, as we
Yes.
said. That's because we need to think about the future. We need to think about synthetics.
Yes, definitely.
And then we have also a project in our mind that is awesome that we are working on that, but still need time. And that's something that we cannot give any clues.
Okay.
But I think it will be a nice brush in the future.
Got it. Got it. Everyone was asking for a tour of your factory. I said it's obviously not going to be possible on an Insta Live, but I will put up a link to a YouTube video that they have on their YouTube channel. It is sort of a tour of their factory. Whatever they can show. Obviously, there are parts of the factory you can't show, and like the processes behind putting a brush together, perhaps. But yeah,
actually, it will be, I think, next week. We will put in our social media, Facebook, Instagram. We will put a very short video of like a tour in the factory.
Okay, lovely.
So yeah, something that is it's made very made like not professional movie, but it will be something a quick tour. I think will be good for the artists to see.
Yes, absolutely. Everyone else should also check out their YouTube channel, Escoda. There's a video of Ricard's father constructing a brush as well, and like some short interviews with some artists that they've collaborated with as well, including Amit Kapoor talking about Escoda brushes. So please definitely tune into YouTube to check that out. I'm going to ask you a few quick questions. That's just what we do on the Smart Lounge. What is your all-time favorite brush that Escoda has manufactured?
My favorite brush?
Yes.
I would say Versatile is one of my favorites.
Yes.
Yeah, because of I would say because of the nice color of the brush, of the handle, but also the fibers.
Got it.
And also because it's I would say, as we said before, I think is maybe one of the best alternative for a Kolinsky brush.
Yes, absolutely. Who is your favorite Spanish artist? Somebody that you've discovered recently that you absolutely love and that we should also look at?
Well, there's someone we also collaborate with him is Pablo Ruben.
Pablo Ruben.
Madrid.
Yes.
He's a very good artist, and he's a very nice man. And he's one of my favorites, yes.
Okay, great. We'll check him out for sure. What is your favorite kind of painting? Are you more of, do you appreciate watercolors, acrylics, oils?
Well, I've been very close to artists that they paint with watercolor.
Okay.
And I would say, this kind of a painting like Amit Kapoor himself is doing, but also Alvaro Castagnet, Joseph Buxbich. This kind of a painting, I love it very much.
Okay.
Or Pablo Ruben. I mean, I respect all kind of art, and I respect, for example, the abstract